from the lens of I cheated, so I need to pay for the rest of my life. Well, that's a choice. Because if you feel like you have to pay with your life, you're not going to build anything meaningful. It's just going to get worse and worse. So let's go through this real quick. Let's start from betrayal again. It's the same triggering reality. Okay? You committed an offense. You did something terrible. You created damage. You damaged the trust in your marriage. Right? And the most people, they react. You got caught. That's why you see some people say, well, you're only confessing because you got caught. That's true in many respects, right? But instead of going that way, instead of going the way of minimizing or renaming it or being defensive or trying to rationalize what you did, you take personal leadership and you own it. You have full ownership, right, to what happened. The fear is that if I told them everything, now they're like, well, I'm telling you right now, if you got caught already, you better own everything, okay? Ownership, you acknowledge your decisions. You made that terrible decisions, right? And you have to acknowledge also not just your decision, but the impact, right? Without turning those fake accountability into self-condemnation. Just because you're condemning yourself doesn't mean you're accountable. They can smell it. They know it's fake. In fact, it's manipulation. Okay? Self-condemnation is manipulation, right? You're hoping that they will suddenly stay with you for life if you just condemn yourself. No, they don't want you if you self-condemn. Okay, you're making it worse. You're poisoning your opportunities to actually build something meaningful, probably for the first time. Okay, you. Let's move on. Grounding, right? Grounding means you return to God. You return to prayer. You return to gratitude, right? You return to emotional regulation, because again, guilt is emotions, right? It's a poison that will poison all your opportunities if you don't get out of it. It's natural for you to feel guilty, but you need to move as fast as as fast as humanly possible into a place of remorse, right? Meaning you take the time, you reflect, full ownership. Okay, yeah. So you allow the other person to experience their anger. That's the patience. But if you give yourself patience, it will become easier for you to give them that level of patience. You have to be generous with patience. Okay? You allow them to experience their anger, their uncertainty. They lost trust in you. Trust is going to be a process to rebuild. Trust is inevitably going to be rebuilt. Maybe not trust in you if you continue to poison it. But they're going to, if that person is a human being, they're going to trust someone else, something else. Because, trust is something that comes from a place of consistency, change behavior, but consistency, right? So you have to be patient with that process. But they don't really decide to trust. It's either they trust or they don't trust. They don't decide. It's not an outright decision thing. Okay, so but if you understand that, then it's easy for you to stay focused on the process, right? Grounding gives you it gives you capacity, gives you enough stability to remain present without becoming defensive or desperate. That's what we're discussing here today. You don't get desperate to start doing things that will not repair. It will only create more damages. Intuitively, it might feel short term that you're repairing, but those resentment you're building is going to end up coming back as defensive,ness and will destroy everything you've worked on for the last 3 months, and you have to start from scratch again. Yeah, that's why you keep seeing them. They keep coming back. It looks like, oh, why do they keep bringing it up? You already apologized, because your apology is full of defensiveness, and they know. Okay, so when you're repairing, you take concrete actions connected to the actual damage. Okay, now well, I still have to go to work. Well, I still have to. You're talking too much. That's probably right. As opposed to change behavior, you're present and you're consistent. Okay, so I'm not asking you for excessive transparency. There is a thing as excessive transparency, and people naturally move in that direction, right? Okay, let me give you an outright example of excessive transparency. Well, smell my boxers. Smell my boxers. Was I outside yesterday? That's weird. You're being weird. Okay. I just give an extreme example, just so you know. Okay. That's just being weird. You know. So let's go on. Let's move on forward. Let's see. Shout out to Dobry. Said, I wish you explained it in a less boring way. I'm off. So sorry. So sorry. The right people are here. It's okay. We don't want the whole world here. Just the people that need it. All right. So value. You continue becoming emotionally mature. That's value, right? The impact is value on the other side. You continue to become emotionally mature, purposeful, disciplined, honest, right? What is honesty? Honesty. What do you mean by honesty? Is that honesty with respect to your truth, a source of truth that's actually grounded? Let's be careful with that. I'll be very careful. So it depends on story to story to story. So every story is different. Every story is unique, right? And when you have value, that creates attraction. Okay. Naturally, they start becoming curious. Value, for most of it, is silent. It's internal work, internal structures that you're building, but they can feel the impact. It feels safe. It feels safe in a very interesting way, right? It feels safe. Do you understand? But it's also consistent. So with time, they don't choose to trust you. They don't have a choice than to trust you because they're still actively comparing to everything else in the streets. And there's no comparison here, right? They actually want to beat themselves up for forgiving you so soon, right? But it just makes sense because it feels safe. That's called attraction, guys. And now, when you're able to go through this process, you build resilience. You remain committed through the process, through your personal, your self development. When you become committed in that, yes, the forgiveness is inevitable, right? It's slow, but it's inevitable. They don't decide to forgive you. It's something that will happen in due time, based on the process, based on your ability to stay the course, right? What course are we talking about? I don't know. It depends on everybody's story is different. And this cycle does not depend on the other person. Can I repeat that? It does not depend on the other person giving you reassurance every day. You cannot afford to be needy, clingy, asking them for forgiveness prematurely. You decide what you want to do. You want to stay or you want to leave. If you want to stay, then you have to go through the process. We start with from betrayal, you go to full ownership, and you go to grounding. Okay? That grounding will regulate your reactions. That's what you're going to need. Your reactions are actions you're responsible for. You can't say they made you do it because they didn't forgive you fast enough. That tells me that you don't deserve forgiveness. Does that make sense? So understanding the distinction is easier than living it. When you're in it, it's easier said than done. Okay, and yeah, that other person they might express their anger. The person you cheated on, rightfully, because betrayal hurts, right? It's painful, right? And now your struggle to recognize when to answer a question, right? That becomes a real thing. When to give space, that becomes another real thing. When to apologize, that how do you apologize, that becomes a real thing, right? When to remain silent, right? At one point, should you speak up, right? All the decision, like how to separate those things, can be excruciating. Okay, so and that's why we set up the discovery sessions. Okay, so if that's something you're interested in, you want us to navigate your situations together, we'll dive in deeper and look at your specific situation, and then we'll decide from there. So if that's what you're interested in, just go to getmymarriageback.com/discovery. Getmymarriageback/discovery. So maybe you notice that I'm describing your marriage and you're still in it and you still want to fix it. Don't go back to guessing. Don't go back. Every marriage is different. Every relationship has its own history. Okay, personalities, landmine, curveballs. Like I said, it's easier said than done. When you're in it, it gets very tricky. If you're operating from a place of guilt, I understand, because you're trying to fix this as soon as humanly possible. Well, that's the key. Humanly possible. You have to respect that another person who has been betrayed is involved.